your pacing is. If you've ever started a Hyrox feeling amazing, legs fresh, breathing easy, pace feeling effortless, only to completely blow up halfway through, then there's a good chance your fitness isn't actually the problem, your pacing is. Most hybrid athletes guess the pace they should be running. They copy elite level splits and go out way too quickly. And then they spend the rest of the race trying to survive rather than actually race. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to find your race pace so you can finish as strong as you started. I'm Matt, I coach hybrid athletes every week, Hyrox, ATHX, CrossFit, all of it. And I race myself. One of the biggest improvements I've seen in both my own training and my clients hasn't come from getting significantly fitter. It's learning how to pace properly. Here's what actually happens when you go out too fast. You go out too fast, the first kilometer feels amazing, you feel strong, you go with it. But your heart rate has already started climbing. You've crossed your aerobic threshold and you can't feel it yet. Lactate starts to accumulate, your body's producing it faster than it can clear it. The clock is ticking from this moment. You hit your first station, the ski, and then the sled. With the push and the pull, they feel twice as heavy as they should. Your legs are already more fatigued than you realise. You head back out on the run, but your pace has dropped. Every kilometre from here gets slower than the last. And by the back half of the race, you're not racing anymore, you're surviving. Damage limitation. That snowball effect is preventable, almost entirely preventable. And it comes down to one decision: how fast you run your first kilometre. So why do so many people get this wrong? The first tip is by copying elite level athletes like Hunter McIntyre. And I've been there. I did the exact same in my first race against him. Look at these numbers. Hunter McIntyre is running his Hyrox kilometres at around 3:35 per K. Jake did another elite 3:45. Now here's the thing. They're not running fast because they're trying to run fast. They're running at their threshold, the pace that's sustainable for them given their aerobic capacity, their training background, their full-time commitment to the sport. If you're targeting a sub 75 minute Hyrox, your running kilometres should be around 6 minutes per K, not 3:45. Copying Hunter's splits as 75-minute athlete means you're running at around 110% of your threshold for kilometre 1. You will blow up. It's not a question of if, it's when. The goal isn't to run at their pace, it's to run at your pace that's sustainable right the way to the finish line. So, how do you actually find that number? I use 4 methods with my athletes. Use at least 2, they should point to roughly the same answer. First, your 5K PB, your Hyrox running pace should be roughly 30 to 40 seconds per kilometre slower than your current 5K pace. That buffer accounts for the station fatigue you carry in between every run. So if your 5K pace is 5 minutes per kilometre, your Hyrox target is somewhere around 5:30 to 5:40 per kilometre on the running sections. Second, threshold pace. This is the pace you can hold for roughly an hour at hard but controlled effort. Your Hyrox pace should sit 10 to 15 seconds below that, just inside the top of comfortable. Third, heart rate. During the running sections, you want to be at around 75 to 80% of your heart rate max. If you're already hitting 85% by kilometre 2, you're going too fast, and you'll pay for it by station 4. And fourth, RPE, rate of perceived exertion. On a scale of 1 to 10, your race pace should feel like a 6 or 7. Controlled, deliberate, not easy, but never redlining. If it feels like a 9, you're already cooked. Now, the best way to actually test this isn't a spreadsheet or a graphic, it's a session. Here's the session I use with my athletes and that I do myself. Warm up properly, 10 to 15 minutes easy, get the legs moving, get the breathing settled. Then 4x1 kilometre at your target race pace. Not all out, not comfortable, your target race pace. The goal of the first rep is to find the pace, not to run the fastest rep. After each rep, check your splits and your heart rate. Is the pace where you plan? Is the heart rate staying in that 75 to 80% window? 90 seconds recovery between each rep. A walk, not a full stop. Keep moving. By rep 3 and 4, you're going to start to feel what race conditions actually feel like. Legs are getting tired, breathing is working harder. This is the honest feedback. If you can hold your target pace on rep 3 and 4 without your heart rate creeping above 82, 83%, that's your race pace. If you're failing by rep 3, drop 10 kilometers per K and retest again next week. This is not failure, just part of the process of learning where you actually should be. This session is more valuable than any race predictor you're going to find online because it's testing you, where you currently are right now, and then giving you the feedback to go away and change it. Before I wrap up, here are 5 mistakes I see with everyone in that Hyrox pacing. Going too fast on kilometre 1. I've just spent 8 minutes explaining it. Just don't do it. Racing without a watch. If you're not checking in real time how fast you're running, you don't know if you need to make any adjustments and if you're going to blow up later in the race. Get yourself one and record everything. Only training at an easy pace. Zone 2 has its place, but if you're only training there and never at a good intensity that you're going to require when you're racing, when you get there on race day, it's going to feel unfamiliar and uncomfortable. You need to learn to lean into it and how to deal with it during the race. Only training hard. If you always train at a max effort, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, then you don't know what your 6 and 7 or 8 is. You don't know if you can sustain that effort. Never practicing race pace specifically. Threshold runs, interval runs, aerobic builders, they're all great and you need to use them within your training. But at some point before your race, you need to run at a specific intensity you plan on running at and see what it feels like. This is where simulations are useful, but you shouldn't overuse them every week. So, to summarize, most hybrid athletes blow up in their Hyrox races, not because they're not fit enough, but because they don't know how to pace properly and they go out way too fast. Find your number by using any of the means in the video, whether it's a 5K, the RPE, or using the baseline session, the 1K efforts, and make a note of what that pace is. And then when you start your next race, make sure you stick to it. You see everyone else fly out on the first one, hold back, run at the pace you know you need to. Don't chase someone else's pace. Earn your own. If you want to know where your biggest performance gap actually is, not just your pacing, but your strength, your engine, and your work capacity, I've built a free hybrid performance scorecard that benchmarks all 3 against competitive standards. It takes 3 minutes, it's completely free, and the link is in the description. Comment pace below if this helped, and I'll see you in the next one.